2.1 Theme 2 Friends and Family Lesson 2.1 Vocabulary for Listening Describing Personality Exercise A Listen to some statements about the Internet. Do you agree or disagree with each one?
1. Websites like Facebook waste a lot of time.
2. Twitter is just silly. Why do you want to know about every second of another person's life?
3. Friends Reunited is a marvellous site. It brings people back together, sometimes after years and years.
4. Social networking sites are dangerous. They have replaced real communication between people.
5. You cannot be friends with someone you have only met on a website. You must meet them face to face.
.2 Exercise B2 Listen to some people. Each person is talking about his, her best friend. Number the adjectives in the order you hear them.
1. I love her because she is so independent. She just lives her own life. She doesn't ask you for help all the time.
2. He's a very positive guy. He is always optimistic about situations, even when they are very bad. He makes me feel positive when I am with him.
3. She's totally reliable. If she promises to do something, she does it. Every time. I really like that.
4. He's extremely considerate. He always asks me how I am feeling. He asks me if I need any help with anything. I believe he thinks about other people more than he thinks about himself.
5. She's very supportive. I have had a lot of problems, but she is always there for me. She doesn't criticize.
6. She always tells you the truth, even if you don't really want to hear it. She is too honest at times, but I admire that really.
7. He's available. That's what I like about him. Do you know what I mean? He's always there when you need someone.
8. She's very communicative. Some people don't give you any information about themselves, their work, their feelings, but she tells me everything, and she listens too.
2.3 Exercise B3 Listen again and make a note of the meaning of each adjective.
1. I love her because she is so independent. She just lives her own life. She doesn't ask you for help all the time.
2. He's a very positive guy. He is always optimistic about situations, even when they are very bad. He makes me feel positive when I am with him.
3. She's totally reliable. If she promises to do something, she does it. Every time. I really like that.
4. He's extremely considerate. He always asks me how I am feeling. He asks me if I need any help with anything. I believe he thinks about other people more than he thinks about himself.
5. She's very supportive. I have had a lot of problems, but she is always there for me. She doesn't criticize.
6. She always tells you the truth, even if you don't really want to hear it. She is too honest at times, but I admire that really.
7. He's available. That's what I like about him. Do you know what I mean? He's always there when you need someone.
8. She's very communicative. Some people don't give you any information about themselves, their work, their feelings, but she tells me everything, and she listens too.
(2.4) Lesson 2.2 Real-time listening. Making friends.
Today, I'm going to talk about a basic idea which links psychology and sociology. Psychology, as you know, is all about the individual. Sociology is about people in groups. One part of everyday life links individuals and makes them into groups. It's friendship. Research has shown that people with a number of close friends are generally healthier in mind and body than people without. For example, there is research from 2004. It's by Koji Ueno from Florida State University. Now, Ueno studied adolescents, that is, teenagers. He questioned over 11,000 teenagers and found that people with more friends were happier.
(2.5)
Today, I'm going to talk about friendship. First, I will discuss two words which are often used together: friends and acquaintances. I will identify the key differences between the two words. After that, I'm going to talk about how an acquaintance can become a friend. Next, I will list the characteristics of people with a lot of friends. We'll see the view of psychologists. And finally, you're going to do a personal survey. You'll find out if you can make a lot of friends.
(2.6)
So firstly, let's try to understand the difference between friends and acquaintances. Well, everyone has many acquaintances. Acquaintances are simply people that we know. We know them from the social clubs that we go to, from the places that we work in, or from our local neighbourhood. We know them from university. We see them around the campus at university, and we say hello to them. Some acquaintances are also relatives. We meet them on family occasions, but there is a big difference between an acquaintance and a friend. What is the key difference? It's simply this: a friend always starts out as an acquaintance, but something draws the acquaintances together and they become friends. It is obvious, but the point is we must like acquaintances for them to become friends. Perhaps we don't like everything about them, but we feel positive about most of their characteristics. Incidentally, relatives can also be friends. I know that we talk about friends and family, or relatives and friends, which suggests that they must be different people. But mothers and fathers can be friends with their sons and daughters. In fact, some of the closest friendships can be inside a family. Now let's consider what makes us like an acquaintance. What makes us like someone so much that he or she becomes a friend? Psychologists say that if you want to make friends, you must think about yourself. What I'm saying is, you must make people like you. It is possible to change your behaviour or your attitude to become more likeable, but what should you change? Again, psychology has the answer. Ask yourself what you like about other people. Ask yourself what you dislike. Then ask yourself if you would like to be your friend. So to sum up, firstly, we must like acquaintances for them to become friends. We've heard that likeable people make friends easily. So the point is, you must make yourself likeable. Finally, as we've seen, psychologists say that there are certain characteristics that make people likeable. Okay, let's finish with a bit of fun. Are you a likeable person? I've prepared a handout. Please take one and pass the rest on. There we are. Now, work through the statements on the handout and find out whether you are likeable. Psychologists suggest that likeable people can answer yes, honestly, to most or all of the statements. Check your answers with someone who knows you well.
(2.7) Lesson 2.3 Learning New Listening Skills. The main idea. Exercise A. Listen and number the next noun in each case.
1. Friends and 2. Family and 3. Mothers and 4. Sons and 5. Brothers and 6. Men and 7. Adults and
2.8 Exercise C. Listen to some extracts from lectures and tutorials. Make a note of the main idea in each case.
We've heard a lot of information about psychology and sociology in today's lecture. I've mentioned some of the definitions of the fields of study, and I've pointed out some areas where the two disciplines overlap. But the key difference is psychology is about the individual and sociology is about groups.
So, to sum up, most people want to have friends. Life is better with friends. It is more fun. But research suggests that friends are not just for fun. They're very important in everyday life. As we have heard today, Ueno conducted research into this in 2004. The point is, people with friends are more healthy in their bodies and in their minds.
There are many kinds of language test. There are true-false tests, multiple-choice tests, gap fills. They all give the students prompts. The most important thing is give a prompt in a language test. Unfortunately, a lot of teachers don't really think about this when they write tests.
You meet a lot of new words in every lesson. You hear new words from the teacher and maybe from other students. You read new words in texts and in exercises. But the thing to remember is, you will forget all of them if you don't rehearse them. It's nothing to do with intelligence or how many hours you study. It's just the way that the brain works.
The human brain receives information all the time from the outside world. The information comes through the eyes, through the ears, through the nose. It goes into the sensory memory. Most of it, 99.9% of it probably, goes straight out of sensory memory within 3 seconds. The point is, we must pay attention to the information. Then we move it into short-term memory.
(2.9) Lesson 2.4 Grammar for Listening. Transitive and intransitive verbs. Exercise A. Listen to the start of some sentences with intransitive verbs. What kind of information do you expect to come next?
1. At the time of his most famous research, Ueno worked
2. She was very late, so she walked.
3. The price of oil fell.
4. The plant in the first pot grew.
5. He was very poor and he lived
6. The biggest cultural event of the year happens.
7. Many problems in families occur.
8. Thousands of years ago, many tribes existed.
2.10. Exercise B1. Listen to the start of some sentences with transitive verbs. Find and number a suitable object in each case.
1. Ueno questioned.
2. I want to talk about
3. Let's discuss.
4. Everybody has.
5. I like.
6. I've prepared
7. We meet.
8. Barik works with.
2.11. Exercise B2. Listen to the full sentences and check your ideas.
1. Ueno questioned over 11,000 teenagers.
2. I want to talk about friendship.
3. Let's discuss the differences between friends and acquaintances.
4. Everybody has a lot of acquaintances.
5. I like considerate people.
6. I've prepared a handout.
7. We meet acquaintances in many different places.
8. Barik works with several colleagues.
2.12. Exercise C. Listen to the start of some more sentences with transitive verbs. Complete each sentence with something logical.
1. Short-term memory stores.
2. At school, we had to memorize
3. I'm sorry, I can't remember.
4. Last year I went.
5. In a vocabulary lesson, you must rehearse.
6. New information in short-term memory pushes out
7. The train arrived.
8. I need to improve.
9. What do you think of?
10. The child was crying
11. Do you prefer?
12. I always find it difficult to concentrate on.
13. Teachers should vary.
14. During the summer, she worked
15. I'm going to demonstrate.
16. I always misspell.
2.13. Lesson 2.5. Applying new listening skills. Keeping friends.
In the last lecture, I looked at the importance of friendship and the process of making friends. We saw that there are certain characteristics which make you likable, like independence and honesty. They make you a good friend for most people, but what about keeping friends? Now, according to many psychologists and sociologists, it's not enough just to be likable yourself. You must actually like other people. Perhaps this sounds easy, but for many people, it is not. In this lecture, I'm going to look at barriers to friendship. Barriers are things which get in the way. The psychologist Mary Millikan says that there are 3 barriers, things that get in the way of liking another person. In her book, Understanding Human Behaviour, which was published in 1981, Millikan calls them the 3 A's: acceptance, approval, and appreciation. So let's look at each one in turn.
2.14.
Firstly, we have acceptance. Some people want to change other people. They cannot accept them the way they are. They don't allow other people to be themselves. In particular, people often cannot accept the other relationships of a close friend. Why is she friendly with her? But human needs are complex. You will never understand all of the needs of other people, even your closest friends. The point is, you should not try to change your friends. Most people don't want to change or can't change, so that is the first barrier to a friendship. Secondly, there is approval. Some people find it easier to criticize than to find the good things in a person. Have you ever failed to show approval when a friend has been successful? Sometimes we find it difficult to be happy for another person's success, even a close friend. You need to fight this feeling, which is really simply jealousy. Millikan says we should start by looking for something that you can approve of, something you can like in another person. At first, it can be something small, like the way they dress or the way they smile. But once you start to approve, you will find a number of things grow and become more important. This does not mean insincere compliments. What I'm saying is you must notice other people, their appearance, their action, their achievements. People want to be approved of, so constant lack of approval is a second barrier to friendship. Finally, appreciation. We have heard that you must accept a person for what they are. We have also heard you must approve of your friends, their behaviour, their attitudes, or their achievements. But you must go further if you want to keep friends. You must show that you accept and approve, show that you value them. Thank them for any kind words or helpful actions. Show them that you appreciate them, that they are special to you. Well, many countries now have special days for appreciation of particular people, like mothers, fathers, children's teachers. Some people say this is just commercial. It's an opportunity for shops to sell silly cards. But a mother or a father or a child or teacher may feel hurt if you don't buy a card to show your appreciation of the special day. So the thing to remember is, don't just accept and approve. Show appreciation. So to sum up, you need to be likable to make friends easily, but you need to like other people to keep friends. You need to accept them. Don't try to change them. You need to approve of them. You need to notice their appearance, their actions, their achievements. And finally, you need to show appreciation. Don't just accept and approve.